Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Quivz here. Quivz does stuff. Today we're going to be finishing off collecting the last bits and pieces we need to unlock the VTOL and hopefully making some progress, if not completing the unlocking of the gates on Glacio, as well as doing the probe on Glacio. This is exactly where I left off in the last video. Much has happened in my actual life. Work has been going good. It is a bit different than expected. My roster is not as precise and continuous as I was hoping for. If anyone else works shift work, you'll know what I mean. I have a sort of roster in that I normally work 2 days and then 2 nights and then get 4 days off. When I say 2 days, I mean 7 AM to 7 PM, 7 AM to 7 PM, and then I work 7 PM to 7 AM and then 7 PM to 7 AM, and then get 4 days off. So I'll work on an 8-day rotating roster. So I was expecting to have worked on Monday, but it didn't actually happen. Anyway, so things have changed once again. Hit that notification bell because I have no idea when I'm going to be streaming. It's even weirder than I thought. Right, where were we up to? So send your mat, boost the mat with more exo chips. Is that this? That's this. Alright, so we'll have to go looking for exo chips, which means I need to make more dynamite. Dynamite! So we'll have to get home. I don't know whether I can get sulfur on this planet, which means I might have to go all the way back. Oh, thanks, Justin. Yeah, I must admit those last few subs were my family. I haven't told them that I was a YouTube streamer, and they found my page by accident. So, yeah, something came up on their emails to let them know that I was streaming, and they were like, streaming? What do you mean streaming? So now the cat's out of the bag, and a few of them joined my channel, so a bit of a cheat, but yeah, we did finally make it to 30. So in other news, those of you who have been watching some of these streams might know that I've recently gotten into first-person view racing drones. Well, not really. I'm into what they call tiny whoops, which are very, very small indoor versions of the racing drones. And I had my first one, a GEP RC Tiny Go 4K. So with 4K recording on board the drone. I hadn't actually gotten an SD card to do any 4K recording yet, because I was still learning to fly, so it's quite hard. And since I wasn't very good yet, I thought, I'll wait off until I can actually fly the thing really well. And the camera broke the other day, or at least I think it did anyway, so I did some troubleshooting, and I think it's the camera that died. So I've ordered a new camera, replacement part. It's not the same camera, so I no longer will have the 4K recording ability. So we'll see what happens. I mainly got the replacement part I got to 100% be sure it is the camera that's broken and not something more important. The video transmitter, something might have gone wrong in there. But I don't think it has because of the kind of problems that I'm getting. Basically, I'm getting a black screen, but I'm getting the on-screen display, which means that the controller for the camera is working because it's outputting a signal. Otherwise, I wouldn't see the on-screen display from the drone. But I'm not actually getting any actual camera feed from the drone. Am I going in the wrong direction? No. Base is over that way. Okay. So yeah, interesting news on the drone front. I had a big crash for once, and now I need to actually do something to repair my drone. A bit of a letdown. I was getting good. I was really starting to get the hang of it. I've also ordered a new radio controller, and that radio controller can interface with the computer and be used in simulators. So one of the things that a lot of the first-person view drone guys will tell you is you should learn in a simulator before you get your first drone. I didn't do that, and I kind of regret it. But I'm rectifying it by getting a decent controller, and I'll do a bit of a rundown of the controller when I get it as well, maybe with some B-roll. And then I'll be buying one of the drone games. Mostly they're just available on Steam. There is another one that isn't available on Steam that is sort of a separate thing. And I believe you have to buy a license, so like it's a recurring fee. And is one of the better ones, but we'll see which one I go for. And some of that will be appearing on the channel as something else to watch. So you can watch me learn to fly drones better than the way I've currently been flying them around my rumpus room. But I do enjoy it. It's fun. It's even though I haven't learned to do any tricks yet, and I'm not hitting gaps, as they call it, which is, you know, flying through, well, gaps between furniture or between buildings or whatever it is that you're flying between. I find it really fun. So I'm definitely going to keep going with the hobby for now. I'm more of an indoor guy than an outdoor guy. And here in Australia, we're quite limited as to where we can fly outdoors, although there are a few places. The government has actually put special places aside, and we have some modelling hobby associations and clubs that apply for licenses, and then when you join an event from the club, they have permissions to fly in extra places that other people wouldn't be allowed to fly. And you don't normally have to join the club. You can turn up to one of their events and pay like a day fee. Justin, this game is called Astroneer. It's a survival crafting game in the barest sense. Survival is based on oxygen. You'll see these blue tethers whenever I'm near something. But if I get far enough away from one, the tether goes away. This is on my backpack. I've got this oxygen tank up here, and this blue bar on the top is also oxygen. So that's the only survival element, is that you can't run out of oxygen. There's also energy. These yellow bars, that's your power. That allows you to use your terrain manipulation device. You can empty and build terrain. The crafting comes through the use of 3D printers. Different sizes, and they have an assortment of things that you can and need to build to progress through the game as you jump from planet to planet. Right. Can I make dynamite on this planet? Now, dynamite requires to be printed on the backpack, I think. Beacon, work, light, oxygen, white mod, drill mod, hoverboard, dynamite. Requires 1 explosive powder. Can I make explosive powder? Sulfur. So I think we can't get sulfur on Visenya, and that's why. Yes. That's why I need to go back to home base on silver. So I'm gonna need 3 dynamite at least. Or maybe not. Slot exochips in mat, 3 of them. I might have 3 exochips back on the home planet. So maybe I just go and get the 3 exochips. Let's see. If I'm going to go back to the main planet anyway, and I don't currently have a use for any extra exochips. So let's return to silver, which I've been calling Sylvan continuously. I think that's a Dungeons and Dragons thing. Well, it is for me. I don't know where else Sylvan comes up. I think it's just an adjective. Like, you can describe a noun with the word Sylvan, and that means something. I'm not sure. For me, it's a Dungeons and Dragons thing. It's this Sylvan. I don't even know why it's a Dungeons & Dragons thing. I'm just pretty sure I picked it up from Dungeons & Dragons. Yeah, so we do have lots of extra chips. Let's see how much fuel we've got left in this thing. 4. Let's make some hydrazine before we go anywhere. I'm going to need 2 ammonia. Hydrazine. Oops. What did I just do then? Oh, changed that from input to output. That's cool. Pick up some hydrazine. Right, so I don't need dynamite after all. So I can go back to having tethers there. Soil, I've got another hydrazine to put on my rocket. So I don't get stuck on some foreign planet trying to get hydrazine. And where were we? Visenya. So back to Visenya. Drive all the way back out to the MAT. Plug in the extra chips, and hopefully that's the last thing I have to do to unlock the VTOL recipe. And then I assume that I'm going to get a VTOL. Oh, it's on the other side of the planet. We'll have to go all the way around. I'm going to get a VTOL like I did with the hoverboard. So with any luck, you'll get a free VTOL. If I am going to get a free VTOL, I will not actually collect it until we get to Glacio. So I might spend a bit of time collecting all the bits and pieces, or some of the bits and pieces I need to take with me to Glacio. We'll collect the VTOL there. If I don't get a free one, then we'll look into what it actually takes to build a VTOL. And work from there. But yes, I'm a bit excited for my new drone parts. Admittedly, it was a bit annoying to have broken the camera because I was really looking forward to flying that day, and it was like I was a minute into my first flight of the day when the camera gave up the ghost. And it's not the first time the camera had actually failed. But the previous time when the camera had failed, I'd managed to repair it in like a minute or so, basically by disconnecting and reconnecting the camera. This time I have taken the drone apart in several ways, shapes and forms continuously, and taken everything to pieces and put it all back together, and I still haven't got the camera feedback. So, yeah, pretty sure something's broken. And I need a new camera to establish whether it was the old camera that's broken or whether something else broke. And hopefully I will find out that it was the old camera that broke. Now I can actually get a replacement 4K camera as well, but there's more than one option. There's the one that came with my drone, and then there's several others now. The 4K is quite new. And it doesn't display 4K to your headset. That would be silly because the headset's only like 360 by 2 something pixels. Like the little screen inside the goggles that you watch your first person view when flying the drone through is a tiny little screen with very little low resolution, because it doesn't have to be high resolution. So they got around that by putting a 4K camera that records directly to an SD card on the drone. And that was kind of a new concept. But now that the concept's been around for a while, and in first-person drones, like, the technology is really advancing very fast because it's kind of a new hobby. But all the electronics and stuff that you need to advance the hobby is already there. Like, it's out in... Ooh, that's a decent fall. It's already out in the world, so it's advancing really quickly. So, you know, a few months ago there weren't 4K cameras, and now basically every recognizable brand that does stuff in the FPV hobby in regards to cameras has a 4K camera. With a recording board that records directly on the drone. There are, you know, there's other options. So there's the Dji drones, which are the ones that you would probably be most familiar with if you've just seen drone stuff on like TV and video. If you haven't watched drone racing, then you would have seen mostly DJI drones. They're much more expensive, they're much more user-friendly, admittedly. They are bigger, and they tend to be a camera drone where the camera is designed for cinematic flight. The camera points downwards and records kind of underneath the drone. Whereas a first-person drone, the camera points forwards, so you can see where you're going, is the concept with them. You tend not to fly most of the DJI drones in and around things, because that's not what they're for. They're not an acrobatic drone. They're a cinematic drone. That being said, DJI has now come out with first-person view camera drones. So you can fly acrobatic styles. Again, the D in DJI, I believe, stands for digital. So everything prior to this has been analog, so standard radio signals, standard video signals, it's all been analog transmissions. The digital ones are now, digital, so they are different kinds of protocols and things. And they work just as well. Better in some ways, I believe. But yeah, so there's a sort of technologies. I'm going too much into something that has nothing to do with what I'm doing. Let's play Astroneer and talk about Astroneer. Alright, so the VTOL. Like I said, I haven't actually seen it because this content update kind of dropped unexpectedly. I wasn't expecting it, and suddenly there was new stuff again. They do that a lot in Astroneer, which is, the sign of great devs, really, that they give you new stuff to do on a regular basis. Some of the devs that do that kind of frequent updates will make a big deal of letting you know, oh, we're doing this, we're doing that. We've got all this great stuff coming. The Astroneer guys, from my experience, they just drop stuff on you. I don't know if maybe there's like a Discord or something that I'm not subscribed to where people would actually be getting early notice of this, but if you're just using the game in Steam and playing, then every now and again you'll open up Steam, look at Astroneer and go, oh, they added more stuff. Another game that works similarly is Terratech. Terratech, they just add stuff continuously. They haven't stopped adding stuff since the game came out in early access. There's new blocks every few weeks. Normally not more than a month goes by without a content update. They do have two tracks though. They have a beta and a normal full release track. And things often take a little while to move from the beta into the full release. But in the fullness of time they do, and you get new blocks and stuff, which is great, because Terratech is also a lot of fun. An excellent game, really well made, with devs that really seem to care, and don't have assorted DLCs, microtransactions, etc., etc. Astroneer does have some microtransactions, but they're purely cosmetic. There's no extra content hidden away behind a paywall. There kind of is, because there are other things that you could build that you can't without buying the DLC, but those other things that you could build are alternates to things that already exist, so you could get the same effect from something in the free game. It's just doesn't look the same. Alright, now I'm hoping this is the last one, and then I'm going to do this, and then this thing is going to do what it did last time, which is explode. That doesn't look like it's going to explode. Ah. Activate the map. Oh. So that is complete. I just need to activate it. Alright, so I'll collect that, because that was just bytes. And then finish product. Activate map under Senya. Send off the compiled data for a new schematic. I wasn't finished reading mission completion reward. I get a VTOL, I get 2 hydrazine, and I get a schematic for the VTOL. So I think as soon as I finish this, I'm going to get a VTOL here. Best guess? Oh no. I will still, I believe... Oh, that's loud. Ah, speaking of loud, I haven't readjusted OBS. I was playing Phasmophobia with family recently. That's better. So I normally turn the game audio down a little bit so it doesn't interfere with me trying to speak, as it would have done right then. The problem is I still can't hear anything, so it's much of a muchness in that. Yeah, sure, it doesn't interfere with me speaking, but I can't hear anything when I'm trying to talk to you, and it's really hard when you can't hear yourself to continue a conversation. Right, so that's that. Now I should... That'll come up in completed, collected any landing pad. Right, so we're going to do that on Glacio, so that I have a VTOL on Glacio, which I will then use to go looking for the probe. So now I once again have to return home. From there we will return to Silver, and from there we will begin our preparations to unlock the 6th planet, Glacio, leaving us with just the hardest planet in the solar system left, Atrox, to do. That will definitely not be part of today's episode. Unless I feel like having another 4-hour episode, I might. You never know. This could be a really long stream. Sometimes my streams are short, sometimes my streams are long. You don't really know what it's going to be. I've tried to do longer streams with Astroneer, because otherwise you don't get anywhere and you never get anything done, and I'm never going to finish the game if I don't do it. And I haven't actually finished the game. I've been a little bit shy of this before. Activating Calidor was new for me. I had never activated Calidor before. Was it Calidor? No. Yes. Yes. Because Desola is the moon of... No, Desola is the moon of Silver. There's Visenya and Novus, and then Calidor, yeah, the desert planet. I'd never activated Calidor before, so if you watch that episode, that was the furthest I'd ever been in the game. Since then, of course, this new content's come out, and I've done the new content, so I'd never done that before either, obviously, because it wasn't in the game to do. But besides that, yes, I am breaking new ground. But other than that, I have played a lot, and I mean quite a lot of Astroneer. Actually, I'd be interested to know. Have a quick look on Steam. 314 hours in Astroneer so far. So hopefully that sort of gives you some indication of what I think of it as a game. It's very good. It's 314 hours good. I think the highest in my lists are like nearing the 2000s though. I know that Team Fortress used to be, well, Team Fortress 2 used to be my highest for a very long time. Then what overtook it? I think Ark might have overtaken it. Conan Exiles is probably up there. 7 Days to Die is going to have a few hundred in it. You'll find I play a lot of survival crafting games. I do enjoy them. I enjoy the challenge and the clear progression. A lot of story games, the progression isn't as rewarding for me. I don't know why. I just don't feel as like I've accomplished something just for getting to the next bit in a story. In some games you do, and in some games the actual progression of the story is enough of a reward. But I don't know, not every game has fantastic writing where I feel that the actual story progression is what keeps me coming back and looking to hit the next bit. I sort of had that problem with Biomutant, where it was fun at first, and then, yeah, it does sort of wear thin, and the mission types are not very interesting. It suffers from the same problem that early World of Warcraft did, in that everything is just go here and get this and come back. There wasn't really much in the way of variety. So yeah, it got a little bit boring in places. I don't know, they might fix it with patches. They might. I still think it's an incredible example of what can be done. It's not entirely new by any stretch. Like, almost everything in the game has been done somewhere before, but they did it well in many, many, many respects. And as an indie developer, I'm always behind that, because it's like, yes, somebody's come up with something new, they did a good job, let's make sure that they are supported so that they can do a good job again at some future state. So yeah, I bought Biomutant. I don't regret it, although I'm not really putting much in the way of hours into it anymore. I could actually work out, there is a way to order see what your most played games are by hours. I'll do that in a minute. Oh, I've fallen into a hole. Let's see if I can find my way out of this hole. That doesn't look promising. Oh no, that's... can get out this way. That is one of the problems of screaming around on a buggy at full speed. You do tend to fall into holes. Similar problem with the hoverboard, which was another newly added piece of content. The hoverboard is great. It's clever, it works, it does what it's supposed to do, but yeah, you fall into holes a lot. So, and you get hurt on the hoverboard, whereas you don't get hurt in the buggy. The buggy can fall, as far as I know, for infinity and not actually cause any damage. Right, now I have not opened up my Excel spreadsheet for Astroneer to check exactly what I have on each planet. Oh, nice, Koije. I'll check it out at some point, probably after this stream. Yeah, so what are you doing on your stream? Are you playing games as well, or have you got other kinds of content? No, there's not supposed to be any QT RTGs on this planet. Right, so we can take this one with us. Yeah, that's what this channel was supposed to be, but there's been very little messing around and far more gaming, because gaming does take up more of my time than anything else. But yeah, I do want to put some of my drone stuff on, some of my painting stuff on, more drawing stuff. But yeah, it's good. YouTube they make it easy. They don't put too many obstacles in your way, and they have less regulation. I mean, they have some regulations, of course. There's international laws and things they have to abide by, but they're not as strict as Twitch. I was thinking about Twitch, and I keep seeing people start on Twitch and then get banned like week 1 because they don't know what they're doing, and it's like, well, I don't know whether I'll bother with that. But yeah, we'll see. This channel might eventually be available as a Twitch stream as well. We shall see. Yeah, so Astroneer available on many, many platforms, and yeah, Xbox, another good one. And yes, it is a fun game. That's why I recommend it to people. It's very simple. It doesn't take too much to get into. A lot of games take a lot to get started on, and some people don't have time. Like, one of my favorite YouTubers is Simon Whistler. He does a lot of information channels. Ah, nice. Yeah, so Simon Whistler does a lot of information channels, and he says he plays games. And these days he says, I used to play games, but now I have, he's got over 10 YouTube channels these days. So he doesn't have a lot of time on his hands, and he doesn't really get to play games anymore. So it's nice to be able to do that as your YouTube channel. Right, Glacio. What do I need for Glacio? Let's see what's on Glacio at the moment. There's one medium battery, there's a large wind, a large solar. I've got a furnace, centrifuge, a lab, an atmosphere, a landing pad. There's a hab there. I do not have any auto extractors there. Let's bring up the Planetopedia, well, Astropedia, and have a look at the planet. Glacio, sun very low, but wind is very high, so I should therefore take extra wind. So we'll make another large wind turbine. Ceramic, glass, and aluminium alloy. Aluminium alloy means I'm going to need aluminium. I'm going to need ceramic and glass. Aluminium alloy, I'm pretty sure that was just compound and aluminium. Copper and aluminium. Alright, so I'll need one copper. I need to go and find some aluminium, which means heading down again. And I'm not sure whether... It's been so long since I've run around on silver. I don't remember where I was actually mining aluminium, but it'll be at the end of one of these tether lines. There should be some aluminium. Not a lot left here, but we can grab maybe one. No, I think we've used it all up. Oh no, there's a little bit in the ceiling. Oh, and I need to get a capture card as well, because I've got another new game that is taking up some of my time. Pokemon Snap. So I am old. I am very old. I'm nearly 40, and I was there when the original Pokemon Snap came out on Nintendo 64, and I played it, and I loved it, and I 100%ed it. I got every Pokemon, and I got, you know, really, really good photo scores and stuff. And somehow, new Pokemon Snap, which I knew was coming, I completely missed its actual release, but I didn't let that happen very long. As soon as I worked out that it came out, I went down to the shops and bought it. I use EB Games, which is the Australian version of GameStop. Sometimes I buy physical copies, sometimes I just buy online versions. But for the Switch, I don't know, physical copies, I buy more physical copies than I do online. No, probably 50-50 now that I think about it. But yeah, I was in a shopping centre and I was doing a bunch of other things, buying a bunch of things, and I walked past and I'm like, Pokemon Snap's out, I'm going to grab Pokemon Snap. And I did, and I'm enjoying it. And again, it would be nice to share that with you, but without a capture card, I cannot do so. Yes, I live in Australia. I would have thought my accent would give it away, but I guess my accent doesn't. I've got a weird accent. I'm originally from South Africa, and there's a little bit of South African in me, and that combines with the fact that I watch way too much American television and American YouTubers, and then I have some Australian accent, and that all sort of combines to make me sound like I'm from somewhere in America. So I do actually get that a lot when I tell people, yes, I'm from Australia. They're like, what, really? I should play GTA Online. I have played a bit of GTA Online. I'm not as into it. I played Grand Theft Auto 5 almost to completion on PlayStation 4, and then I bought the PC version later and couldn't be bothered to play through the whole thing again, so I never finished it. And then I gave online a bit of a go, and I got kind of bored pretty quick. Like, there's just too many people running around trying to ruin your day, just griefing. It didn't matter what instance I ended up on. It was just grief after grief after grief. And I got sick of that. I do have Red Dead Redemption 2, and I have been playing a little bit of that online recently. If you'd like to see some of that, I might stream some of that at some point as well. I'm not doing a heck of a lot I refuse to pay for gold, so I'm really just trying to gather enough gold through missions and doing dailies to get together enough gold to get the naturalist role, which is the one I'm interested in doing first. I'll probably do the moonshiner at some point as well, but we'll see. Maybe I should just pay for it, who knows. But for the moment, I'm not going to pay for it. I'm trying to get enough gold together. I'm at about 17 or 18 gold now. So, yeah, slowly getting there. Right, large wind turbine. What else do I really need to take there? Should have a look at the auto extractor. Now, they now take exo chips, which they didn't before, but I've still got exo chips to spare, so that's cool. And then what? Rubber. Rubber, I'm pretty sure, is smelted organic? No, that's carbon. How do you make rubber? Did I just waste an organic? Yes, I did. That's how we make rubber. Steel, that's iron and stuff. I think we were running low on iron, weren't we? Iron. Oh, well, that's iron and carbon, unless I'm mistaken, so that'll be fine. Looks like we didn't waste an organic. Steel. Iron and carbon. Come here. That's the hoverboard. I'm not using it at the moment. I can... how do you use it again? Ah, double jump. It looks cool. You do go faster on the flat. But it uses energy for a start, so you need to have something like an RTG, QT RTG with you. And it's dangerous because it's real easy to just fly off a ledge and fall really far and die, because it doesn't protect you from that in any way, shape or form. Right, that should be steel. Is that everything? No. Tungsten carbide. How could I forget? Tungsten and carbon. I'm pretty sure it is a carbon. Yes. So another organic. That's extra large platform C. Yeah, I did the same thing. I went for the extra large platform C. Same as I don't bother with any of the shredders except for the extra large shredder. You could unlock the shredder earlier, but I found you can get all the way to the point where you have the materials and resources to make the extra large shredder, and there's no point making the smaller ones if you can make the biggest one. So yeah, I always go for the biggest one. It's pretty much the only thing I've put on an extra large platform. I don't actually have much use for any other extra large platforms. I assume that they will make more things in the game. Like they certainly haven't finished adding content yet. And one of my complaints was that there isn't much use for dynamite, and lo and behold, now we've got exo chips, and dynamite is something that you need to build to progress through the game. So I assume that they will find further uses or further ways to force people into using the extra large platform. So the other things that I don't use is I don't tend to use many vehicles. The buggy is about it. And I'm only using the buggy in this playthrough series because I've never unlocked all the probes before. And I need to be able to explore a planet freely without running out of power and oxygen. So the buggy is the quickest and simplest way to do that. Admittedly, now I believe the VTOL will be the simplest way, but the VTOL probably has more advanced requirements when it comes to resources. I have no idea what the resource requirements of the VTOL are. Alright, I probably don't actually have the recipe until I've actually collected it. Yeah, because I don't have the schematic, but I don't want to collect it until we actually get to Glacio, so I don't know what the actual resources are to build one, but I assume it's advanced resources. So the buggy being cheap and taking very little resources is much preferable. I'd rather do that. And I just haven't had much reason to explore planets very far. You generally have to on Silver because you don't get to pick your starting point, and the gate might be really far away. Like for me, the gate is through this tunnel, and originally I had to go all the way around this mountain, and yeah, that was the closest gate for me. And that was before they added the compass, so back then the only way to actually find a gate was to sort of wander around and keep looking at the sky and look for the blue beam that shoots up into the sky when you get close to a gate. But yeah, these days with the compass it's easier. And on Silver you generally... But I mean, even now that there is a compass, I don't even need to use a buggy anymore because I don't need to explore to find a gate. I just know where one is. And I can create a path directly to it and just leave a tether line, which is what I've done in the end anyway. Once I knew which gate was sort of the closest and which one I was going to be using, I created this path through the mountain so I didn't have to go all the way around or all the way over to get to and from the gate. But on every other planet, you pick a landing spot that's close to a gate. So you're never that far of a walk from the gate, and you can generally see it from your landing spot. So again, like a vehicle just doesn't become very necessary. People do talk about, using tractors and having big trailers so you can move large items long distances, but most large items I'm going to move once. So building a tractor just to move one thing once, also a bit of a waste of resources in my opinion, a waste of time. So I don't do it. I move it once and I do it by hand. And if you have to move something big, you can do it like this. Yes, it takes time, but you still get there in the end. It is very hard to go downhill with them. The best way to do that is to actually get going downhill so that you're sliding and then grab the object as you go past, and then you can hang on to it and slide the entire distance down the hill. The reason why it's hard when I go downhill is because that doesn't fit through the hole very well. So that can be difficult. Right, now I've got space for one other thing. What do I normally take? What am I missing here? Oh. Extra large wind turbine. Was that in the game before? I don't remember that. When did they add that? I don't remember them adding an extra large in the original power update. Missions, big power. Large wind turbine, large solar panel, extra large wind turbine. What? How did I entirely miss that? Well, yeah, so that's like 2 updates ago. Well, one major update and some patches ago. Yeah, that's disappointing. Let's make one of those. Graphene, ceramic, and iron. That's not too bad. Graphene's the only annoying one. And even that's, relatively easy to do. Do I have a spare graphite lying around? I do. So I just need to make some hydrazine. There was an iron component. What else was there? A ceramic. I don't think I've got any more clay. No, I don't. Alright, well, we'll need to soil centrifuge up some clay. Resin, organic clay. Some iron. There's the hydrazine. Turn the hydrazine into the graphene. Yeah, I mean, that update came out April 1st, because this entire playthrough series actually started because on April 1st I saw the update and thought it was an April Fool's joke, and like a week later I sort of realized, no wait, that's not a joke, they really did upgrade the game and add all this new stuff, and I haven't played any of it yet. And then I started a new playthrough series for Astroneer. I never finished the previous playthrough series, which was... I don't remember exactly when it was, but it was a long time ago. Which is why these are entitled Astroneer again, as opposed to just Astroneer, because this is a return to Astroneer gameplay. What am I missing? Graphene and aluminium alloy, which means I'm going to have to go find more aluminium. That was at the end of that one, but we used that up. Let's go down another level and see what we can find. Yeah, you can use the soil centrifuge at any level. I tend to try and make a full batch of stuff because you're always going to need more of something later anyway, no matter what it is. You're always like, I wish I had more of that. And the easier way to have more of that is to just make a full batch whenever you get a chance. Right, so there's some here, but for all I know, that's all there is. Oh no, there's a decent node here. I'll just grab another one or two while I'm here. There we go. Didn't actually have any tethers on me, so I couldn't extend my tether path to that. Yeah, you could put small amounts of soil into a soil centrifuge, but I tend to try and keep my soil canisters full and always try to do a full batch when I use the soil centrifuge. That's cool. After I stream, the videos go up onto YouTube. They do take a little while to process because they're originally only available in like standard definition, which is like 720 or 480, I think. But later on they'll be uploaded in their full 1080p gloriousness. I don't play in 4K yet. I don't have a 4K monitor. I do have a 2080 Super, so I could play something like this especially in 4K. It's on my list of things to do, but 4K I'm more interested in for movies and things like that, not really for gaming. I find 1080 is sufficient. I like 1080. You get more speed. Everything runs faster. But yeah, it was great that you could drop in. Always nice to have more viewers and people to talk to when you play. Helps keep me on track. Otherwise I will drift off and talk about my work and my drones and other non-related things. My search for a Death Note hoodie for my niece for her birthday. Wow, I can't believe I entirely missed this. Extra large wind turbine. That'll take a little bit to print though. Not too long because I do have max power. I don't think I can have any more power on this base. Yeah, when you don't have anything to react to except the game, sometimes you just wander off and into your own little world and start talking about other things. And I do it a lot. My first attempts at, well, they were videos rather than streams, but they're very similar to the way I do streams in that I just start playing a game and then talk while I'm playing the game continuously. and that was my Far Cry series. And in the Far Cry series, wow, I go off on all sorts of tangents. Yeah, it's one of the big things that all the big guys that do Twitch and YouTube will tell you is stream as if there are hundreds and thousands of people watching. So talk to yourself as if you were talking to other people. Practice doing that, because then it gets easier. A lot of people, when they first start out, are a bit embarrassed and they don't know what to say, they don't know what to do. Make up your own questions. If nobody asks you a question, make up your own question and answer it. Alright, well, thanks very much for tuning in. I hope you can catch the rest of it when the VOD goes up. But it was nice having you, and enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, so this thing's going to take a little while to print, but then we'll head over to Glacio. That's going to be an absolute bitch to move. So what else do we need on Glacio? I'm going to need a medium resource canister. Wait. Why am I taking a digger to Glacio at all? Is there even a point? Titanite and hematite. I have both of those. Am I digging iron anywhere else? Maybe I'm not digging iron anywhere else. No, I'm digging hematite on Novus. Right, well, I'm taking a digger to Glacio for no good reason. Oh, I might as well do a Titanite one. I don't have a Titanite one anywhere. So I've got ammonium digging on Sylvan. I've got an auto extractor. I call them diggers in my spreadsheet because it takes up less space. I have an auto extractor doing wolframite on De Solo, malachite on Calidor, lithium on Visennaire, hematite on Novus. So on Glacio, if I do Titanite, I think that covers me for everything. All the major ones anyway, all the ones that are difficult to get. I think the only one I don't have is one doing spherolite, but you don't need that much spherolite. You don't need a lot of zinc. So, alright, it's not a complete waste. I didn't really need it because I've got a full thing of Titanite, and you don't use that much Titanite. But, oh well. But we will make the resource canister to take with us then, because... so once again... do a full soil centrifuge and make some quartz so that I can make some glass. And what was the other one? Plastic. Plastic, I think, is resin and something. Nope, carbon and compound. Not even close. Carbon, and I've got one compound left. I need to make some compound. I've started digging somewhere over here, I think. Yeah, the old shuttles. Don't need them anymore. Not using them. Don't know what to do with them, but yeah, don't need the old shuttles, so... just dump them in a hole. It'd be nice if you could put them in the shredder, because they are literally just taking up space. I literally put them in a hole so they would be out of the way and I wouldn't have to think about them. But yeah, it'd be good if you could actually just dump them in the shredder, but as of last time I checked, you can't. I could check now. Let's just grab the small one and see. Will it shred? No. So yeah, they should really make them recyclable in some way, shape or form, so you can get something. But as of yet, no, they haven't made them recyclable yet. And I need to make compound because I'm out of compound. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, there is a compound there. Alright, well, I'll grab that one back then. Oh, carbon, not organic. Resource canister. What else do I need to take with me? Buggy is aluminium and compound. That's easy to build there. The seat is the same thing. I could build them here just to have it. I've got spare slots in my backpack. Sometimes it's worth just taking stuff. Doop 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 doop. Right. No. Yeah, 2 compound. Now we'll just make that over there. I was going to make compound here so that I've got it next time I come back. I used to write a list. I will take 2 QT RTGs with me, so I can run... Oh no, it'll be a VTOL, won't it? And I believe that runs off hydrazine. Probably runs off hydrazine for its flight, but I'm going to guess it still has a power requirement, so I'll take 2 QT RTGs with me. Try to remember to bring them back. So I won't be making a buggy because I'll be using the VTOL, and it gives you some hydrazine when you're over there. I've got 8 launches left, that's enough. Let's take some tethers. And I've got a spare compound for some more tethers. I can't think of what I'm missing. What else I could build that would fit on my backpack that I can take with me? I don't think anything. No, 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 no. Oh, haha. Is it steel? Steel. Probe scanner. Because we haven't done the probe on Glacio yet. So the best way to do that is to take the probe scanner with us. Because we'll be trying to do both the gate and the probe scanner. There we go, that can stay there until I need it. And now I think I've got everything. I don't think I'm forgetting anything else. I might be. I can always come back. I think I've covered it now. Hopefully I've covered it. I might still not have enough actual power, but that's a different story, and we'll deal with that when the situation arises. Enough power to power the gate, that is. But I mean, there are a few things on the planet already, so fingers crossed, you know, I've got enough. I don't know where the gate is from here, but it should be close, because I always pick somewhere close. That'd be another nice to have addition. When you do have a landing pad and it's that close to a landing spot, the landing spot goes away and the landing pad takes over. Right, so I'm going to have to go over there, so let's... Oh. That a direction. Actually, I can bring up my compass to make sure I don't lose my way. Or just drill a hole through this mountain. Oops. Oops. Actually, the compass is in the way. I'm going to get rid of the compass. It's nice having a compass. It is a bit annoying in where it's placed. Perhaps if it was a bit more transparent than it is. I'm not sure what they could do. Put it out of the way somewhere else rather than, you know, right in your face. Should be fine, so long as I try to keep going in a straight line. Oh, out of tethers. Oh, the VTOL. I forgot about the VTOL. Alright, let's get the VTOL out. I'm going to finish this tunnel, and then before we start trying to move things all the way over to the gateway, I will... Oh dear, I'm underneath the gateway. That's not ideal. Underneath, or am I just inside? Nope, that's definitely underneath. It's relatively easy to fix. We'll just pick up that tether. Mine some of this away. Apparently there's iron here somewhere. Let's just get rid of all of that. Probably this tether as well, to be honest. Yep, there's that iron. Not even close. That'll work. Whoa. Right, it's a bit steep, but that's okay. We still get us to here. There's a little space to land on, and yeah. Let's just see if there's anything on this discarded rover. No, just one of these. We'll take that though. Take it home with us. Cool. So let's go have a look at this VTOL. Just an initial look. We'll fly it around a little bit, and then later on, after we've activated the gate, we'll go and look for the probe scanner using it. Yeah, let's get rid of some of these extra things. I've got a plastic there for some unknown reason. Get rid of some of these extra things that I'm carrying with me. We'll put the QT-RTGs over here for now. Probe scanner can go there for now. Right. VTOL. I imagine there are possibly people who... What in the world happened there? Fix that quickly. Might as well put that in. So, there it is. Cool. Right, so it obviously needs a pilot seat, Oh, no it doesn't. It's just got a slot on the back. Okay. Needs fuel. It's got a fairly decent number of connections on it. I don't know whether they're for anything. A couple of medium slots, so that's pretty good. 2 small slots, 2 medium slots, and oxygen. Requires hydrazine as fuel. Probably does not supply power, so let's grab a QTRTG or 2. I normally take 2 just because otherwise you're sitting there waiting for too long. You know what? Let's do the probe scanner ahead of time. We'll do the gate afterwards. Since we've got it, and since we're going to be messing around with it anyway. So we'll put the 2 QTRTGs on it somewhere. Let's make it symmetrical just because. Nice that it doesn't need a seat either. Right. Let's move my oxygen tank so that I can have the probe scanner. That away. Right. Double tap to take off. Ascend, descend, and fly. I don't know how much hydrazine this is going to take. Hopefully I don't get stuck too far away from base, but we'll find out. Alright, so it's slow. It's not very fast. But okay, it's not using the hydrazine too quickly. It'd be nice if there was some sort of fuel indicator. I suppose you can see the hydrazine because it's right there on the back. Yeah, this is a much better way to explore a planet, that's for sure. Alright, let's land again. Double tap to land. F to exit. Yeah, and I am being supplied with power and oxygen. Nice. Oh, there is a fuel indicator. So that's the fuel indicator, and you can actually see the hydrogen. So, hydrazine, sorry. Probe scanner. Yep, so I'm heading in the right direction. I am now on the second little blip, so we must be getting pretty close. Double tap spacebar to take off. Space to fly up, shift to fly down. There's a much nicer way to travel, I'll tell you that. Alright, I haven't seen anything that looks like a probe yet. So we'll go a little bit further. And then we'll come down again. Find somewhere where there isn't any malicious fauna. Land by double tapping shift. Oh, over that way now. Oops. Because shift is like, oh wow, and because it's got slots. The other one, the buggy, doesn't have spare slots. I can take this with me, which is normally something I wouldn't be able to do. Because shift is normally run in most games, I keep holding shift as soon as I take off, which of course drives you straight back into the ground, so that's not very useful. What in the world is that? Some sort of giant horn. Okay. I don't think I've ever seen one of those before. Alright, so we haven't got that far, and we've used half a tank. Doesn't mean we will be able to get home again, but yeah, that's surprising. Large starship horn. Alright, useless, but there it is. That's a thing. Yeah, so we're heading in the right direction. It's just over this other side of this mountain, or somewhere close to that. There it is. It's actually hidden in the mountain, which is makes things a little more difficult, but not by much. I should be able to reach that from here. Alright, so I don't know what probe this is. It doesn't look familiar. But I don't know what all the NASA probes look like, just some of them. NASA and whatever other things there are. Pioneer 1. Let's not be completely ignorant. Pioneer 1. Also known as Able 2. Was a NASA space probe. Intended to orbit the moon and make scientific measurements, but due to a guidance error failed to achieve lunar orbit and was ultimately destroyed upon re-entering Earth's atmosphere. That's a shame. Was the second and most successful, so as an absolute failure, it was the most successful? That's kinda weird. Oh well, anyway. So that is the 6th. And should have unlocked a pallet, I believe. Wonder a teal. So yeah, pretty sure that's what that would have done. Yeah, so some of these things are, you can buy them, but others are unlocked by achievements. So Glacio Awakened, once I do that, I will unlock the Nobility Dance, which from the look of it might be a river dance kind of thing. I don't really know. But yes, some of these are purchases. No, none of them are purchases. I guess they don't show you any of the things that you can buy, but there is a store over here. Enter store, where you can buy stuff. Yeah, different suits, different colors that wouldn't otherwise be available. But other than that, and I mean, they're literally just cosmetic. So they don't really affect your gameplay at all. The game is only... which means I'm going to take back... I really thought that there was actually some actual constructibles. But there doesn't appear to be any constructibles whatsoever. So maybe there is no alternate skins for things that you need to unlock via micro transactions, and everything that you need to finish the game is, well, everything that you need to finish the game is in the game, but I was under the impression that there were alternates. So like large platform B, for example, there might have been a large platform D that you don't get unless you pay for it, but from what I can see, that is not the case. Alright, so that is the VTOL. That was Pioneer 1, the space probe available on Glacio. Yeah, relatively decent fuel economy. I mean, we travelled really far on one full tank of hydrazine, and I've still got another one left. I might not make it back to base. But you can't say that's not a great way of exploring. So, a reasonable addition. I'm not sure if it was really necessary, but it's... If you ignore the necessary part and just go with, was it useful? Yes, it was super useful. It cut a lot of exploration time off that I would have otherwise had to spend looking for that probe. I mean, it's still perfectly doable with a buggy, it's just not as quick. There is in fact still a little bit left in the canister. But I did want to get back before I started on this canister so I can put it on the spaceship because that's more useful to me. 14 launches, nice. Right. I brought back some extra power because I found this and I could carry it. And this being the windy planet, that might come in handy when I go to activate the gate, we'll see. I'll grab the QTRTGs and I'll leave that little tiny bit of hydrazine on there. Cool nanas. Now, I could go looking for a Titanite seam and set up my digger. Or we could start doing the gate. Let's start doing the gate. Right. So, there's this thing, which is going to take me forever to move through this hole. So I don't think it'll even fit in the hole, so from here I might have to actually just slow walk it, which is going to suck. But I don't really have much in the way of a choice. Oh, very, very slow walk. See, I don't want to let it go because if it's clipping into the mesh for the terrain, sometimes it'll just launch out the top of the terrain. It'll find the nearest open space that it can fit, and if that's out the top of the terrain, it'll launch into space and I'll never find it again. So we won't be doing that. It's going to be even worse trying to bring it back. I might have to bring it back over the top of the mountain rather than through my passageway. Or I suppose I could dig the passageway bigger and have the space to actually move it. So we might do that. We'll see. Right. I suppose it doesn't matter where I unpack this as long as I unpack it. I'll rotate it so that I can... Okay, so when that one actually has enough wind to deploy. Wow, so that's like half of the requirement already. So I think the two medium turbines that I have now, one already here on the planet and one that I brought with me, are likely to be sufficient. I don't need my compass anymore. I don't know why that's still up. And I've got two QTRTGs. It might be just this. Might suffice. We shall see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the platform first. Once again, I'm going to run into the problem of the platform. I've got to be careful not to glitch it into the terrain. But if I rotate it, I should be able to... Oops. Whew. I nearly had a heart attack then. I thought it was going to deploy. I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to walk it there. I know it's slow, but I'm going to walk it there for safety. So the problem with the wind is it doesn't always blow for long enough, but this is a high wind planet, so I'm hoping that when the wind does blow, it's going to blow for long enough to actually activate the gate. Fingers crossed. It's the entire reason why we came here. Otherwise I'm going to have to use solar and RTGs or something, and that's just going to be hard on a planet where the solar is actually low. Right, we're running into a slight connection issues. Let's do that. just because they add 2 power, which is almost nothing. I don't know what the actual power requirement of this is. Once again, the wiki for Astroneer is pretty comprehensive. It's not the most complex of games, so the wiki does a really good job. And if you want to reveal spoilers on the wiki, you can find out what the power requirements for any planet is to activate the gate of any planet. I'm not doing that in this playthrough because I just want it to be a surprise. I think I did it for one planet, like I did it for De Solo, the first moon of Silver, just because I was kind of wondering. Or possibly because I was demonstrating the fact that the information is available on the wiki. Can't remember, that is several streams ago. Probably April. Probably several months ago now. But yeah, that it's there if you want it. I'm not using it because I don't have to. Right, let's see. Yep, that's enough power. Let's see if the wind blows for long enough to activate the gate. No guarantee it will. Oh, so close. Yeah, we got there. And then the wind died right down, but didn't stop, so okay. Right, so that's that. So we've got an activated surface gate. We now need to activate the core and move all of this stuff back as well, which is going to be annoying. So, I did realize I can actually carry this whole thing at once. And if I use my slide, I can get closer without having to walk. That's not really going to be much of an option with the big one. I might have to take the big one over the mountain. Right, let's put that there. So what's going on here? Let's we attach it to the grid and we can lock it in place now. Put that on there just because. Leave the QGRTGs there for now. Hopefully I don't forget them. Right, core of the planet to discover what the resource required to unlock Glacio's core is. And that's as far as I've gotten, because all I needed here was aluminium, so obviously I got that far and then stopped. So this will take a little while because this is a planet, not a moon. So we might have a long way to go. Oh, let me just put my oxygen tank back up there where I like it so I can see it. Definitely going to need a lot of tethers. So we'll have to see to that at some point as well. I'm going to need a lot more compound. And again, different people have different ways of descending. This is mine, a reasonably steep, although I'm actually getting a bit shallow now. I could probably increase the angle of descent a little bit. A reasonably steep ramp that just goes all the way down until you reach the core of the planet. You do have to continuously adjust the angle because curvature of the planet is something that actually matters in Astroneer. The planets are spherical, and the further you move in any horizontal plane, the more you adjust where down actually is. Down is a sphere, so like real gravity, we're pulled onto the Earth, even though it's a sphere. Unless you're a flat earther, but I'm not entertaining flat earthers. You're dumb. Stop being a flat earther. The Earth is not flat. All observable evidence points to the Earth not being flat. You can make simple measurements with your eyes. If you think the Earth is flat, you're an idiot. Hate my channel, hit that dislike button, whatever the hell you want. But flat Earth is wrong. You're wrong. You're dumb. Stop it. You're making everybody else stupider. We don't need that. Anti-vaxxers, same thing. So the curvature of the planet makes a difference. If you continue moving in any horizontal plane, where down is slowly moves. So you have to continuously adjust to allow for that. So if you're trying to make a ramp that heads downwards, if you just continue downwards, eventually that ramp will actually start heading up again if you miss the core of the planet. So periodically you have to actually adjust your angle to move downwards again and increase the slope. Otherwise you will just come back to the surface at the far end. Oh, something's shooting at me. Where is he? I can't see him. He's going to kill me before I can see him. There he is. Cool. Sorted. There's another one down there. We'll see if that one becomes a problem in the near future as well. I'm missing my tether points. Apparently I'm also slowly curving away. So yeah, not the most popular opinion, but I mean, I'm a scientist. I've been up in a plane. The Earth is round. Well, spherical. If it wasn't, why are there time zones? Why can I watch a live stream from the International Space Station that looks down and see all those things? Some people are just not willing to accept evidence, empirical evidence. It's actually a psychological... It's not a disorder as such, a psychological aspect, a psychological thing that some people have, where they're just very prone to believing and subscribing to certain, well, not certain conspiracy theories, basically any conspiracy theory. I think it had a name, I don't really remember. I remember reading about it, because I have a friend that's very much like that. He subscribes to every weird theory out there. He's not a flat earther, thank God, or I would have to disown him. Tell him he's on his own. I can't be your friend. But yeah, there's a psychological thing where just some people are just super prone to just believing conspiracy theories. They consider the fact that the conspiracy theory exists as evidence that it must be true. That's not how they think of it consciously, but that is what their subconscious mind is actually doing. So the fact that the conspiracy theory exists means that the conspiracy theory must be right, and henceforth it's okay to believe in it. Which is problematic, because that means you can tell them any conspiracy theory and they will then believe that conspiracy theory because that conspiracy theory exists, henceforth the conspiracy theory must be right. It can lead to people believing the craziest of things, like the Earth is flat, and never questioning it, regardless of the evidence put in front of them that's clearly wrong. They will just ignore the evidence, because the fact that the conspiracy theory exists means the conspiracy theory must be right. It's super weird. But yeah, it's been studied quite heavily. It's like 1 in 50 people as well, so it's hugely common in the human race. I don't know what its evolutionary advantage must be. The innate belief in what someone else tells you, as opposed to judging evidence. Like you can see where the evolutionary advantage of questioning things and actually seeing for yourself comes in. Not believing everything you hear has its advantages. However, believing what you hear without question also has its advantages. And you can see how evolutionarily, as you know, we are a social animal. You can see how it might have a role to play in evolution. And apparently 1 in 50, 20 or whatever it was, people, 1 in 50 I think it was, 1 in 20, 1 in 30, I don't remember now. The article was it an article? No, it was a video from SciShow, another great channel. I recommend you check it out if you're interested in science and want to stay on the cutting edge. They will tell you what's the latest and greatest. They will also go back and revisit topics where everybody knows or thinks they know. There's often a lot of science you get wrong because of pub facts. Someone will tell you a pub fact and you'll be like, oh, is that true? And then it's not true. Or the pub fact is abusing a fine detail. A classic one is tomato being a fruit, not a vegetable. It's both a fruit and a vegetable. It's botanically a fruit, but when do you ever refer to something as botanically if you're not actually a botanist? The only time you ever do is when you're saying this stupid pub fact, or when you're a botanist. Those are the only times you'll ever actually refer to a tomato botanically. In every other respect, you will refer to a banano. You will refer to a tomato as a food that you eat. And as a food that you eat, it's a vegetable. Stop calling it a fruit. It's not a fruit. It's a vegetable. You don't use it as a fruit. Unless you're a botanist, in which case, you go right ahead. You shine on, you crazy diamond. What did I come up for? Oh, yes. Tethers. But yeah, I have this argument with people every now and again. And yes, you can call it a fruit, but the circumstances under which it is a fruit do not come up in your day-to-day life. You will never use it as a fruit. Otherwise, an eggplant is a fruit. If you want to insist that a tomato is a fruit, there are no vegetables. There are legumes, there are rhizomes, there are tubers, there are roots, there are herbs, but there are no vegetables. Then there are no vegetables. So you cannot call an onion a vegetable. You cannot call a carrot a vegetable if you're going to call a tomato a fruit. I do say sometimes that is advantageous because if I say tomato is a fruit, I can ignore the existence of vegetarians. There's no such thing as a vegetarian. They're just figments of my imagination because there are no vegetables. That's not entirely true because botanically there's still vegetable, but vegetable just refers to plant matter in general. So everything that is plant is vegetable. So once again, a tomato is still a vegetable. It's never a fruit, not a vegetable. It's always a fruit and a vegetable. So if ever anyone tells you tomato is a fruit, not a vegetable, tell them no, it's both. And you can tell them to look it up in Wikipedia, because this has been debated to death. And Wikipedia has all the information you need to establish the fact that it's both, not one or the other. Okay, that's too steep. I'm never going to get back up that. Wikipedia also has where the debate actually comes from, which was a dude trying to avoid taxes. I found that kind of amusing. Yeah, there was at some point a tax on vegetables, and he didn't want to pay the vegetable tax, so he tried to claim that he wasn't selling vegetables, he was selling fruit. And it went to, I believe, the Supreme Court of America, where they declared that yes, while they acknowledge that botanically the tomato is a fruit, this is a tax on vegetables, and the tomato is still a vegetable culinarily, so you have to pay the vegetable tax. I believe there's still a difference between the tax on fruit and vegetables in America. I don't know which one is more expensive, but I read somewhere that it's not like that tax doesn't exist. It's just back when this guy tried to avoid the tax was during, it was either wartime or it was a depression, and henceforth, you know, he didn't have a lot of money, and so he was trying to save money where he could, and one of the ways that he was trying to save money was by avoiding a tax. And yeah, it didn't work out for him. And led to the pub fact that is most often quoted wrong: tomato is a fruit. That's the end of the sentence. If you say tomato is a fruit, not a vegetable, you got it wrong. Yeah, it annoys me. Anyway, yes, SciShow will do all of those things. How did we get onto that? Oh yes, the conspiracy theorists. Yes, that was a video on SciShow. I really like SciShow. There's also separate SciShows, so there's SciShow Psychology. It might be a SciShow Psychology video, but I don't think so. I think it's older and was back before SciShow had multiple channels. I'm trying to remember the name of the overarching group that actually controls all of those SciShow things. Curiosity Stream? No, that's a streaming service that sponsors YouTube videos. Can't remember. Anyway, I highly recommend it. Look up SciShow, you'll find it. Dr. Hank Green. If you've ever seen the honey badger, don't give a S stuff, his brother, somebody else Green, I don't actually know his brother so well, I believe was the originator of that. But Dr. Hank Green does the science-y stuff. And yes, they have multiple channels now. There's SciShow Psych, SciShow Kids, or SciShow something for children, which is the same sort of content, but just more aimed at children. So, not dumbed down as such, just not as high a level of understanding required. You can often find really good stuff for STEM skills on there. SciShow Space, SciShow Psych, SciShow Kids, and SciShow. SciShow, you'll find all the latest news and trends. So anything new that we found out in general science. SciShow Space, obviously the same thing for space. SciShow Psych, obviously the same thing for psychology. Very, very good channels. I highly recommend it. Although having said that, I haven't been over to check them out in ages. It's been a long time. But they are good. I know they're good. They've demystified a lot of science for me over the years. I mean, there are other cool channels like Veritaserum and I don't know. There are others, but SciShow gives their references, which is, you know, that's as good as it gets. That's like they show all the peer-reviewed documents that they used and where they got their information. That's not just some guy who read some stuff on a blog and then made a video about it, because, yeah, you get a lot of misinformation from places, and you get the tomato is a fruit, not a vegetable, from places like that, where they didn't do any research. They didn't look anything up. They just heard it from somebody and took it as gospel and then regurgitated. SciShow doesn't do that. They do research. It's also pretty good if, like, you can't be bothered reading all the damn scientific journals every damn month. If there was anything interesting to general human civilization, SciShow probably did a video on it. Now, they won't cover everything because a lot of stuff that's published in a lot of the journals are very niche and specific and of interest to certain fields. And if you're in a certain field and interested in something super specific, I bet you read the journal yourself. Not everybody's going to read the journals. Just me and you don't go out and, you know, look up Nature. Maybe you do, but I bet you 99% of people don't go and read Nature just for something to read. But it behooves you to be aware of what's new and what was discovered. So, Sasha. Yeah, I think you'll actually be able to find it as a recommended channel from my channel. I'm pretty sure I put it in as a recommended channel. There's a way to do that. If not, I'll go back in and have a look at my channel and see why I haven't got my recommended channel set up correctly. There'll be other ones as well. I'm a big fan of, for my gaming channels, Outside Xbox and Outside Extra. Outside Xbox only does Xbox stuff, but their sister channel, Outside Extra, does all the rest of the gaming world, all the other consoles and PC. And they are amusing characters. They are excellent YouTubers. They're very entertaining, PG friendly. They also play Dungeons and Dragons, which is kind of how I got into Dungeons and Dragons. Well, sort of. I think I would have eventually ended up playing Dungeons and Dragons regardless. But I'm better at Dungeons and Dragons as a result of watching them play. What did I come up for? More compound. Alright, well, I don't have 2 full soil canisters, so I'll just make the 5 that it's going to give me. And I'm going to need soil, so I'll go over here and just mine some mountain for some free soil. This looks like a likely spot. Let's just mine this away. Get rid of this annoying geyser, since they don't do anything yet. Eventually, I believe they're probably going to provide some form of geothermal power. But they don't yet. At the moment, they just throw you into the air and cause you to fall and hurt yourself. So, yeah, we don't need those at the moment. Some future update, they will become more useful. I hope. Yeah, see, I do wander off on tangents. I just spent ages talking about someone else's YouTube channel. Conspiracy theories. Tomatoes. If you like those sorts of facts and you want to tell someone that. So, banana is a fruit. But it is the fruit of a herb, not a tree or a plant. Banana plant is one of the world's largest herbs. I don't know technically why it's a herb, but if you've ever seen a banana plant, it is like a small waist-height bush with one big stem that sticks out of the top, and then you get bananas on that stem. So something about that physiology of the plant actually makes it a herb, not a tree or bush or shrub or whatever the other classifications are. There are an assortment of classifications, and a banana is a herb. So, the banana itself isn't a herb. The banana plant is a herb. The banana is a fruit of that herb. Which is, again, where botanical stuff gets silly. A strawberry's not a fruit. It's not even a berry. Because the seeds are on the outside. It might still be a fruit. Because I think a strawberry is still the result of a fertilized flower, which I think is what it needs to be a fruit. But it's not a berry. Because the seeds are on the outside, not the inside. All those little tiny dots on the outside of a strawberry, that's all the seeds. Oh, you're back. Welcome back. Yes, well... what was I doing when you last were here? I think you missed seeing the VTOL. So I did get the VTOL. Is that going to shoot at me? It is, isn't it? It's under here somewhere. Yeah, adjusting the cameras can be difficult in this game sometimes. I got gassed. Cool. Yeah, so I think you missed the VTOL, but I can demo it for a little bit when I get back to the surface again. I've activated the surface gate, and now we are just on our way to the core. There's one of the pillars. Astroneer, which means we're nice and deep in the planet. That's how you know, because there's Astroneer. I don't know where that one's shooting at me from. I can't see it. But yeah, so we're on our way to the center of the planet to find out what element resource is required to activate this core, and that will be Glacio done. Yeah, so that is one of the reasons why people will use vehicles, is that they use the rover to drill down. I just don't. It's just, I don't find it to be necessary. This works. It doesn't take that long. It does the job. Plus I have the highest strength drill already on my suit. Yeah, then I'd have to research and do all the bits and pieces that I'd need to do to create one for a rover. But yeah, a lot of people will do that. It is a good way to play. I won't say it's not. It's just not how I do it, because I just don't do it that way. Let's increase our rate of descent again. Not too much. That's a bit too steep. That's better. Keep forgetting to place my tether. We're nearly there. It shouldn't take me much longer. That was a bit early to place a tether. Oh no, it wasn't. That was actually exactly where one should place a tether. Alright, we should come out into the void. There we are. Didn't sound good. I'm getting major graphical stutter here. I don't know if we've hit some sort of... I'd really like to get rid of this stalactite. But it looks like it's one of those glitched ones that aren't physically attached to anything. Is it that that's causing it? No, it's not. Ah, well that's an annoying stalactite that's just going to stay there, isn't it? Alright, now let's pick a pillar, any pillar. That one? That's definitely the closest. Let's go over there. Alright, so I'll do that, and then the next thing I'll do is I'll actually build up kind of a wall so I don't accidentally slide right off the edge if I'm descending too quickly. So I should hopefully have enough time to see it and run into this, which will put me on the right path. Yeah, really struggling with frame rate at the moment. I don't know what's going on there. I don't have anything else running except the streaming software. I can close Chrome. It's not like Chrome isn't notorious for chewing up resources. Let's close Chrome for a bit more resources. Leave Firefox open. That's not as bad. What else am I doing? No, that's about it. I've got an Excel spreadsheet open in I forget the name of the program. I'm using an open source free document viewers, I just don't need Office. It's not, I don't have a requirement for that kind of level of functionality that Office provides. Don't get me wrong, Microsoft produces a brilliant product, but I don't need it, so I don't have it. I use free stuff. WPS, I think, is the name of the package. And it's got sort of a Word, an Excel, and I think a kind of PowerPoint. I'm not sure. The Word and the Excel are the only ones that I use, so. Yeah. Really getting some serious graphic stutter. Mostly when I'm actually building, so applying, adding rock. But yeah, not something I normally experience on this computer. There's possibly something else going on in the background, I don't know. Maybe there's an update for something, or... I just don't know. And I can't do anything about it midstream. I could try, but yeah, it's not going to be great. No point in having you sit there and just watch my Astroneer character stand still while I try to find a solution to some stuttering. That's more something for, what's the channel called again? What are they called? Digital Foundry. Digital Foundry deals with frame rates and resolutions and those sorts of things for games. It's not my cup of tea. Right, try to make a sort of smooth transition so it's easy to get to where the gravity shifts. And then we travel down the length of the tether. Now, again, if you haven't seen this, if you try to place a tether, because of the weird nature of the gravity on these pillars, sometimes you try to place a tether and the tether will end up inside the pillar. So jump first, place it in midair, it'll just drop to the ground because it didn't find anything to attach to, and then manually place it, is my recommendation. It just stops you from wasting resources on tethers that have disappeared into the mesh and will never be seen again. You almost don't need it once you get this close anyway, because you're so close to the core, and there's infinite oxygen inside the sphere of the core, so yeah, you don't use oxygen in there. Always best to place one on the tip as well, or as close to the tip as you can get it, so that you can see which one you want to jump back onto when you want to leave. Yeah, really stuttering hard. I do apologize for that. I'm sure it's really annoying, but I'm not sure why it's happening in the first place. Oh, yeah, that's awful. Absolutely awful stuttering. I don't know what to do. If I stand still, it doesn't happen, but whenever I'm swinging the camera around, it sort of gets a bit wonky. Alright, so the way I try to do this is to keep it on the edge, and then open up the Astropedia. Oh, so I can sort of see what it is. So this is kind of like two squares. Star of David, isn't that also made up of two overlapping squares? With a circle in the middle? I'm not sure. I know what I'm thinking of. I know what I'm trying to imagine in my mind. I don't know whether that's a Star of David or not. I'm not Jewish, so I'm not 100% familiar. It's diamond, so 2 graphene is what we're going to need. I think... I'm pretty sure that you have to be able to build the resource on the planet you're on. Is one of these sort of things that the game did, was say, alright, whatever planet you're on, you have to be able to build the resource on that planet. yeah, stuttering like mad. Whoa. Oh, you know what I'm doing that I forgot about? I've got handbrake running because I am changing the resolution on a video that I downloaded because it was really high and was running really badly, so I might be handbrake chewing up all my resources, which I do think it does because I'm pretty sure I've got the priority set to high as well. You're at an ice cream shop. Did you get free Wi-Fi at the ice cream shop? Is that why you're back? Hope it's a good ice creamery. Haven't been to a place that just does ice cream in a long while. There was a good one in the city, and I regret that while I went there several times, I never went there for anything except lemon sorbet, which is a bit of a waste. Oh, okay. Yep, still chewing through the data. I mean, thanks for watching. Try to be careful with your data. It's very annoying when you run out and you need it for something else. Admittedly, I don't use the data on my phone ever. Well, I say ever, but I occasionally Google something and I occasionally Google Maps something. But it's really rare for me to actually use mobile data. But yeah, free Wi-Fi. It's nice that there are places with free Wi-Fi these days. Get a VPN though. You just never know who's going to be on that Wi-Fi waiting to snoop your data. I recommend it. I don't have one myself, but that's because I don't use public Wi-Fi ever, so I don't have to worry about it. But if I did, then I would have a VPN and I would have a recommendation for you. I don't, so I don't have a recommendation. There's all these VPNs that sponsor assorted channels. They can't be bad. PIA, Private Internet Access, I've heard they're good. I've heard good things about NordVPN. I've heard good things about Surfshark. But yeah, you do you. But yeah, public Wi-Fi, VPN, good idea. Alright, diamond you say, so I need 2 graphene, which means I'm going to need graphite. Give me a second. I just need to close my door so that the people making noise outside of it aren't audible. There was no one home when I started the stream, so I hadn't bothered to seal myself in like I normally do. I don't have a proper studio. This is literally just my computer desk with a mic on it. I could get some sound deadening, padding and stuff, but I've heard my streams. It doesn't sound like I have bad echo or anything. Seems quite good. And the Blue Yeti microphone with some compression on it makes me sound quite, realistic. That's good enough. What am I doing? Graphite. I need a little more, because I'm going to need 2 of them, so I need a little more soil to make a full soil centrifuge worth. So we'll just dig out this mountain over here. Yeah, once again, portable oxygenator. Excellent for exploring. Very expensive, and you don't really need it. You can get by without it. I mean, look, here I am, very close to the end of the game. I'm about to activate my 6th gate, and I haven't built one yet. But yeah, it's there if you need it. Portable oxygenator. I don't have the slots. I'm running out of slots. I really like the wide mod. You need the drill mod 3 because I'm at the higher level planets. Gotta have the oxygen tank. I really like having the work light. I must have 2 soil canisters. It's just how I do it. I can't get by without 2. And then space for tethers, and after that, like, I've got no slots for resources if I need resources. So yeah, I tend to minimize the amount of extra backpack equipment, and there just wasn't room for an oxygenator. Same as the jump packs. A lot of people really like the jump packs. I can see why you'd like the jump packs, but that's just more space that I just don't have to spare. That's probably actually where the vehicles come in. If you use the vehicles, you would have the space. But I don't use the vehicles. I do everything on foot, so I don't have the space. So it's really my own fault. Alright, a lot of argon here because clearly I thought I was going to be taking some of this back, so we'll load that onto the shuttle. Because why not? Otherwise I'll forget to take it back, so for now I'll... there's another large wind turbine here that I'm not using. I could make some basic storage to store this, but nah, screw it. We'll just load it onto the shuttle like that. That'll do. Right, now we have the 2 graphite I need. Now I need 2 hydrazine. That's going to be a problem if I can't get hydrogen on this planet, which I can't. Right, so I'm going to need to make 2 hydrazine. I can't use my rocket fuel. Oh, yes. So this is the VTOL. I will waste one of the rocket fuels. Why not? Because this is going to run out of that hydrazine soon. So it takes hydrazine. It provides oxygen. It does not provide power. But it's got 2 medium slots and 2 small slots. It's got this 3rd small slot, but I think that only accepts hydrazine. I don't think you can put anything else there. I can't get the hydrazine off once it's actually slotted into the slot. So, yes, I assume it only takes that. I will grab a QT-RTG quickly. Is there one on the front? It looks like they thought about putting one on the front and then didn't. I think it's a light. No, it's not a light either. Oh, yes it is. Okay. Yeah, so you double tap. It strafes. It flies. You can go lower. You can go higher. It's an excellent, excellent planetary exploration vehicle. It was, I wouldn't say sorely needed, but a lot of people are probably very happy that they added it. Right, that means I do need to make more hydrazine for this as well, because I've now only got 8 launches left. Although 8's plenty, I suppose. Right, let's take the QT-RTGs back to silver, since I'm going back to silver. Oh, I still haven't sorted out this digger. I don't even think I saw a Titanite seam on the way down here. On the way down to the core, I should say. So I need to build... I'm going to need an RTG for that as well, so I need to build an RTG. Stop it. Oh well, alright, that's going to make a noise like a marching band. Well, not marching bands, marching army until I place it. Anything else I need to take back? All that argon... I could take that back, but I'm not going to. It's not worth it. I'll just leave it here. I'll maybe even bother to make a platform for it. I'll get a platform printing while I fly. That was fail. There we go. Yeah, there are a lot of backpack accessories that you can get. But especially in the early game, I need the slots, so I've never bothered to make most of the backpack accessories. The only ones I go for are the ones I really need for the terrain manipulator. Now, you don't really need the wide, but I like the wide mod. It's just, you know, because of the way that I make my tunnels. Ah, that's Atrox. That's not even silver. Click the wrong one. Because of the way I make my tunnels to the center of the planet, it just comes in handy to have the wide, so it's not so claustrophobic and you're not fighting the camera every second. You're only fighting it about every 10 seconds. Admittedly, you're still fighting it more frequently than I'd like, but yeah, it's better. So I need 2 hydrazine. I could have just made the graphene here, but now I've already made the graphite, so I might as well just make the hydrazine and take it back with me. And then we can convert that into a diamond, and then with the diamond we can activate the core, which will activate the gateway, which will be Glacio unlocked, leaving us just one more planet after that. Yeah, I don't know why I made compound, I don't really need it. Oh well. Alright, hydrazine is 2 ammonia and hydrogen, which I sometimes have lots of, sometimes don't, because it's not hugely important on a planet where you've got lots of hydrogen. So I tend to make it when I need it, as opposed to just having it in stock. I think I've still got some left. Yes. Right, I'm going to need 2 hydrazine. 3 if I want to add more fuel to the rocket, which I do, so I'll make a 3rd one. Leave the spare QTRTGs here. Yeah, that'll be the last hydrogen. So I need to make another hydrogen, so we'll get that going while we wait. I should dump off this argon. So what's happened there? Oh yes, that's hydrazine. Can't zoom out far enough to get the 5th one. There it is. And yeah, I tend to just leave these sitting back here. What's that? That's helium. If I haven't made a gas canister for it already, the floor is fine. Okay. So now we don't have enough hydrogen. I'll use that and leave this pull in one more, because why not? So 2 hydrazine, 2 graphite makes 2 graphene, makes 1 diamond. Almost there. So yeah, as I said, Reddit Online, something I am playing. So if people are interested in watching me play that, but I'm not really doing much. I'm not good at it or anything. I just kind of enjoy it. Cowboy Simulator is great. Grand Theft Horse is another name for it, but I really enjoy it. What else am I playing at the moment that people might be interested in? I haven't been playing much Phasmophobia, but there is a new massive update coming. Yes, I do have a trade platform. It's right next to where I keep my my shredder. There's a massive update coming for Phasmophobia where they're redoing a lot of stuff, so I will definitely be streaming that when it arrives. I'll be playing a bit more solo. I might be playing with friends and family as well to sort of create something interesting. Actually, it reminds me I've got to edit a video, a Phasmophobia video. I should probably do that immediately after this, in fact. So I'll get a coffee and then get to editing. Should be lots of fun. Not really. Editing's not great fun. Editing's alright. It's a necessary evil. So yeah, new Phasmophobia stuff. There is Far Cry 6 isn't that far away. What else is there that's coming? What else am I going to be playing? If not, I'm playing at the moment. I played Stardew Valley again for like an hour. I did buy again for the Switch Path of Seasons, Path 2 Seasons, whatever it's called. So they're actually, those games are made by the original creators of Harvest Moon, who started the whole farming simulator kind of game thing. So there's the original Harvest Moon, and then they licensed it to someone so that they could make a translation, and then the original company got bought, but when they got bought they didn't therefore have exclusive rights to the IP to Harvest Moon. So the company who was doing the translation got to hang on to the IP, and they now make Harvest Moon. But they didn't make Harvest Moon to begin with, they just did translations. So it took them several Harvest Moons to sort of get back to the level of the guys that originally made Harvest Moon. Those guys continued on and made a new game called Path of Seasons. So that's their thing, and that is made by the original makers of Harvest Moon. And apparently, basically, everyone just sort of sees what the new Path of Seasons has in it and then iterates on their game, adding whatever Path of Seasons added. Appears to be what happens. But I played it, it's good, it's alright. Path of Seasons, I can't even remember what it's called. It is the latest version. Apparently it's not the latest and greatest. Everyone says it's not a very good one, but I'd never played one. So I wanted to see what it was, since I really enjoyed Stardew Valley. It's alright. It's not as good as Stardew Valley, in my opinion. So I ended up going back to Stardew Valley for a little bit, and then I was like, I can't be bothered starting a whole new freaking farm. This takes ages. That's so much busy work. It's like Animal Crossing. It's just so much busy work. So I stopped again. Haven't been playing RimWorld. I haven't been playing Oxygen Not Included. I haven't been playing Ark, even though Genesis, the final Genesis chapter came out, and you know that was good, and I only played it for like a week. I haven't been playing. I had been playing Conan Exiles a little bit, but not a lot. There was new content on that as well. A whole new god was added to the game, which is a big deal. They added a lot of stuff to the DLC map, Isle of Siptar. So yeah, I did put a few hours into that as well, but I'm not really playing that either. So that's not worth reinstalling to stream, unless people really want to see it. That would of course have to be a adults only stream. I suppose it doesn't have to. I could turn on all the no blood and gore and no nudity stuff, but by default the game has nudity in it and dismemberment. You can chop people's limbs off. Yeah, there's that. It just seems to be the core of Glacio, where my frames drop severely. I could bring up the Xbox Game Bar and find out what kind of FPS I'm getting, but more effort than it's worth. Just pretend it's lag. Alright, Diamond. Geometric triptych. Climb back up the wall. Place it on the podium. And there we are. Glacio activated, the 6th planet. The first time I've done it, so I've unlocked Tundra Suit and Glacio. Let's have a look at them, why not? Tundra Suit. Ooh. Could equip it, but it's kind of silly looking. I like that one. And was it a pallet? Well, I wasn't. I was paying attention. I just said it, and now I've already forgotten what it was. Novus to Solo, Galactic suits. Wasn't a hat or a mask. Oh yes, and the dance. Dance nobility. Let's put that there. Hurry up. How do I do it? Why won't it do it? Do I have to hit a button? Yeah, those work. Five, 6, 7, and 8 don't appear to be working for me for some reason. That's weird. So let's assign it somewhere else instead. Yeah. Nobility. Let's put it where Astrostar was. Oh, I thought it was some sort of river dance. It's actually... Oh, yes, it is. Haha, I was right. How to river dance. Flick feet at speed while keeping wrists at waist height. That's basically it. From what I can tell. I'm trivializing an entire culture there. That's terrible, terrible thing. I don't actually believe that. But you must admit, from an outside perspective, that's what it looks like. It's tap dancing without moving your hands. Alright, the quick way back, and I need to move this thing anyway. So press F to collapse. And yes, I can't walk with it at all, so to return this one I'm going to have to take it overland. So we'll just go over the mountain. Wasn't really a mountain, wasn't really that hard. Actually having it. There we are. Now, this planet clearly has way too much energy now. I suppose the same will happen when I finish Atrox. It'll just have more electricity than was really necessary. But that's cool. Awesome sauce. Right. So the final thing I'm going to be doing... Sorry, I was just looking at something else then for a moment. The final thing I will be doing is looking for a Titanite seam and setting up my digger, which means I'll have to go all the way back and make an RTG. Yeah, if I don't do it, I'm going to forget. So we'll go back to silver. We'll make a full-size RTG. We'll bring it back here. Yes, it is quicker and easier to move large things by packaging them, but that would require graphite, and I didn't have graphite on me. I could have simply made some in the centrifuge. It was fine. The amount of time I would have spent making graphite and making a packager, it took me about the same to slowly move it overland. Again, one of the advantages of being really close to the gate. If you're moving something from the gate and back, it's not that far on every planet but Silver, if you were careful and chose the right landing pad, landing spot. Sorry. Yeah, there's my trade platform. Right. Now, RTG was super complex and requires the nanocarbon alloy, which means I need titanium alloy, which means I need more graphene. Actually, more graphene's not that hard. Right. I do need to dig more soil if I'm going to make graphite. Just clear out the mountainside. yeah, packaging, repackaging stuff has its advantages, makes things easier to move because they're one size smaller. With the exception of the smallest stuff, which is as small as it can get already, and therefore there's no point packaging them. But yeah, when it's such a short distance, it's just quick enough to just flick it over there by manually moving it one bit at a time. I'm going to need titanium. And then I'm going to need steel as well. So I'm going to need an iron and a carbon. And I'm going to need 2 ammonia to make, excuse me, to make another hydrazine. So let's make the hydrazine since I've already got that. Hydrazine, graphene. Steel. Do the titanium alloy. To the nanocarbon alloy. It looks like I'm short. Don't have any more helium plugged in. What's that? That's methane. One of these is helium. The lighter one? The lighter one is helium, yes. Put some more helium on there. What did I just do? Oh, spare work light back there. I think I just found that one. Nanocarbon alloy. Actually, I think I made that one because I couldn't find my backpack. I died somewhere. Yeah, couldn't find my backpack, and so I made one, a new one, and a new oxygen tank, and then I went looking for it, and yeah, I just haven't gotten rid of it again. I could shred it, but it's not hurting me. RTG, lithium, and nanocarbon alloy. That's not nanocarbon alloy, that is... Lithium is there. Print that. I might also print a medium platform, well, large platform A, sorry. Doesn't have to be a large platform A, does it? Could be a much smaller platform. Oh no, it does have to be a large platform A. No, it doesn't. Could be a medium platform A. Whatever. It'll still work. So I've got a soil canister over there. Well, not a soil canister, a resource canister. Yes, Atrox time, but we will not do that this stream because I need a break. I have things I need to do. Like I said, I have streamed for 4 hours before. The original, when I first restarted doing these Astroneer streams, I did 4-hour streams more than once. But yeah, I do find that it's too long, especially if you watch like YouTube viewership. Most people only watch 5 minutes of a video. The people that watch more of your video are the people that tune in live, but people who don't tune in live don't feel as engaged, so they jump and skip to watch the important bit that they want to see, and other than that, they don't really watch your video. 20 minutes is what YouTube actually recommends as the maximum length for a video. And most of mine are an hour at the shortest. I do have some 20-ish minute videos, but yeah, most of them are much longer than that. So that's everything I need? Yes, that's everything I need. I just need to find a Titanite seam, do that, and then that will be Glacio. Wow, 13 hours is a long time. I don't know whether I've ever played anything that long. Certainly haven't streamed that long before. Oh, I'm a game addict. I wouldn't have like over 300 games in my Steam library, and then several other game libraries, and you know, have PlayStation 1 games where I can get to them and play them if I need to. If I wasn't a game addict. I actually wish that some of my other old consoles didn't go awry. Things like my Super NES and my NES and yeah, things like that. Right, Titanite. So it should be available just below the surface. So we could just look around at this level. We should find some somewhere. Like there. Okay. So that's fine. We'll just make a tether path over there quickly. Clear out some of the dangerous flora. Are they plants or are they animals? I think they're plants. But they're kind of sentient, and plants aren't generally sentient. I say generally, we might be wrong about that. Plants might have a level of consciousness we're just not aware of as such. That sounds a bit hippie, but there have been indications plants feel pain. They feel pain and they respond to it. There is a response through what could be loosely called their nervous system. They have one. And yeah, when you damage a plant, it feels it. It reacts in a pain response way. So, yeah. What sort of ice cream did you get? I never asked. You were at the ice cream shop for some time. Were you guys just getting sundaes, or did you get some specific flavor? I discovered Rocky Road and thought that was amazing. I didn't know you could have Rocky Road ice cream, but yes, that is a thing. Very pleasant thing indeed. Oh, come on, what's wrong with you? Oh, forget it. We'll just walk sedately instead. Rainbow ice cream, strawberry milkshake. Sounds like a good combo. Was it the good rainbow ice cream where each color is actually a flavor, or was it the rainbow ice cream where it's just vanilla with colors? Because I found that vanilla with colors. Lots of kids like it just because it's colorful, but it is just vanilla ice cream. So we sort of tried it on my nieces, and they were like, "This is just vanilla, isn't it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just cool and colorful." And they're like, "Just buy the vanilla then. We like vanilla. You don't need to buy weird colors to impress us." For how young they are, they can both be quite cynical. The good one with a flavor, awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the flavored ones. There's another one that's really cool that I had, and it was this weird green ice cream, and I'm like, it's going to be some sort of mint or something, I'm sure. And it wasn't. It was green apple. I don't know whether you like green apple, but I really like green apple. And green apple ice cream was amazing. I can't remember where that was from. That was also from a proper ice cream shop. And I think it was like a special that they had just for that day. I don't think it was a permanent flavor either. But yeah, green apple was awesome. And there we go. So now we are extracting Titanite. So before I do anything else, let me update my spreadsheet. So we are extracting Titanite with an auto extractor. The gate has been activated. The probe has been found. leaving us nothing but Atrox to go. Alright guys, that is pretty much going to do it for the stream for today then. I should possibly get another stream in tomorrow, although that might not be Astroneer. I might play something else just for the novelty. I don't know what else I've got. I've got other things. I will be trying to play other things periodically. So I'll try and stream something else tomorrow, but I might not get around to it. We'll see how we go. Otherwise, tune in again next week. Probably earlier in the week. I'll try for a Tuesday or a Monday. For what will most likely be the final episode of the Astroneer Let's Play, because I will hopefully have finished the game. I don't actually know how hard it is to activate the mysterious satellite, so that's going to be an extra thing. But I will try to stream episode 10 as the final episode and just go all the way through. Maybe that one will take me 8 hours, who knows, but I will try and do the whole thing in a single sitting and get it done for you guys, because yeah, you've been watching long enough, let's put it that way. So thanks very much for watching. If you did like this stream, hit that like button. If you'd like to find more of my content, hit that subscribe button. Makes it nice and easy to find the channel, where everything is located in one convenient place. If you'd like to know when I go live, hit that notification bell, because it is a bit irregular. So I don't know when I'm going to be streaming. I don't try to keep a set schedule. I stream when I feel like streaming, and I have something to stream. If you really didn't like the video, hit that dislike button. That's why it's there. If you do hit the dislike button, leave me a comment. Let me know what it was you didn't like. Otherwise, I can't get better. If you have any other comments, games you'd like to see me try, games that I've already tried that you'd like to see more of, games I've mentioned that you'd like to actually see me play, leave comments about that as well. Otherwise, guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.